Hey coin collectors and history buffs! Welcome back to Worth Coin, the channel where every coin tells a story. Today, we're diving into the world of Lincoln wheat pennies, those iconic cents minted from 1909 to 1958, and counting down the top 5 most valuable wheat pennies, along with the fascinating history behind them. First up, the 1937 Lincoln wheat penny is a common yet historically significant coin that continues to interest collectors due to its vintage appeal and iconic design. Minted during the presidency of Franklin D. Roosevelt and just a few years before the United States entered World War II, this penny represents a period of recovery from the Great Depression and growth in American industry. It features the classic design introduced in 1909 by Victor David Brenner to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. The obverse displays a right-facing bust of Lincoln with the words, "In God We Trust," along the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date, 1937, to the right. The reverse side features 2 stylized wheat stalks curving inward around the phrases 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto E pluribus unum at the top. This reverse design, known as the wheat ears reverse, was used from 1909 to 1958. The coin was struck in 3 mints that year: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S. The Philadelphia mint produced the highest number, over 309 million pieces, making it the most common. The Denver mint struck about 50 million coins, while San Francisco produced approximately 34.5 million. The brown color you mentioned is typical for circulated examples of the coin, as these pennies were originally made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which tends to tone over time due to oxidation. Color grading in copper coins is important. Red RD coins are considered the most desirable, followed by red-brown RB, and then brown BN, which is the most common and generally the least valuable in the collector's market. A brown 1937 Lincoln wheat penny in average circulated condition is generally worth between 5 and 25 cents, slightly more if it has strong details and fewer signs of wear. Uncirculated brown examples can fetch $1 to $5, depending on eye appeal and luster. If the coin is certified by a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC and graded in the mint state MS range, particularly MS 63 to MS 66, the value can rise to $20 to $50 or more, even for a brown example, especially from the lower mintage San Francisco mint. Errors and varieties can boost the coin's value significantly. While there are no major widespread errors known for the 1937 issue, some minor die cracks, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks RPMs have been observed by specialists. These can command a premium depending on rarity and visual interest. Ultimately, the 1937 brown Lincoln wheat penny is not considered rare, but remains a cherished collectible due to its age, historical context, and place within the broader Lincoln cent series. It is often one of the earlier coins new collectors encounter and serves as a gateway into the world of U.S. coin collecting. Next up, the 1947 Lincoln wheat penny is a classic U.S. 1-cent coin made primarily of copper, part of the long-running Lincoln cent series first introduced in 1909. Minted just 2 years after the end of World War II, the 1947 penny reflects a time of post-war recovery and economic growth in America. It was struck in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, DID; and San Francisco, S. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 190.6 million coins, Denver about 194.7 million, and San Francisco around 99 million, making all three versions relatively common. The coin features Victor David Brenner's iconic design, with a right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The inscriptions include "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left of Lincoln, and the date 1947 to the right. If there is a mint mark, it appears just below the date. The reverse shows the classic wheat ears design, with the denomination 1 cent and United States of America in bold font in the center, flanked by two curved wheat stalks. Above them is the motto E pluribus unum. The coin is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it a bright reddish color when freshly minted. However, over time, many of these coins turn brown due to natural oxidation, especially if they were in circulation. The color of a copper coin is significant to collectors, with red, RD examples being the most valuable, followed by red-brown, RB, and then brown, BN, which are the most common and generally least valuable unless in exceptional condition. A 1947 brown Lincoln wheat penny in average circulated condition is typically worth between 3 to 10 cents. In better circulated condition, or if it has sharp details with minimal wear, it might bring 15 to 25 cents. Uncirculated examples, especially those graded mint state, MS-60 to MS-65, by a third-party service like PCGS or NGC, can be worth $1 to $5 in brown, and higher for red or red-brown tones. Coins from the San Francisco Mint may command a slight premium due to lower mintage, particularly in high grades. There are no widely known major errors for the 1947 Lincoln wheat penny, but collectors do occasionally find minor errors such as die cracks, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, especially in the Denver and San Francisco issues. These varieties can be worth more, depending on the severity and visibility of the error. Overall, the 1947 brown Lincoln wheat penny is a common but historically rich coin. It serves as an excellent example of mid-20th century U.S. coinage and is often found in bulk lots, coin albums, and beginner collections. Next up, the 1948 Lincoln wheat penny is a post-World War II coin that holds modest historical significance and is a common collectible in U.S. coinage. It was minted during a time of American economic expansion and technological advancement. This coin was produced at 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, DI-D, and San Francisco, S. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 317 million coins, Denver about 172.6 million, and San Francisco around 81.7 million, making it a high mintage year overall. Like other wheat pennies from 1909 to 1958, the 1948 cent features the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. The inscriptions include "In God We Trust" above Lincoln's head, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1948 to the right. If present, the mint mark appears just below the date. The reverse features 2 stylized wheat stalks on either side of the denomination 1 cent and United States of America, with the motto E pluribus unum above. These pennies were struck from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving them a bright red color when new, though most surviving examples today are brown or dark brown due to circulation and oxidation. A 1948 wheat penny in bad condition, meaning heavy wear, scratches, discoloration, corrosion, or damage, has very little numismatic value. In such condition, it's typically worth only 1 to 3 cents, or face value to slightly above that for copper bullion. These worn examples are often collected in bulk or sold for educational purposes, but generally do not attract premium prices unless they contain an unusual mint error. Although 1948 wheat pennies are not rare, a small number of varieties and minor errors exist, such as repunched mint marks, RPMs, off-center strikes, or die cracks. However, these are more valuable when found on coins in good condition. A heavily worn 1948 penny, even with a minor error, is unlikely to command a significant premium. For collectors, the real interest lies in finding 1948 coins in uncirculated condition, preferably with full original red color and luster. Those can be worth several dollars, especially if graded MS-65 or higher. In contrast, a 1948 wheat penny in bad condition is best appreciated for its historical value rather than monetary worth. It's a tangible piece of American post-war history, circulated in the hands of citizens during a booming era. And while it may not be valuable in the market, it still tells a story from a pivotal time in U.S. history. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most produced U.S. coins of the 20th century, struck during a significant period in American history at the height of World War II. This coin features the right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. The inscriptions include "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left of Lincoln's bust, and the date 1944 to the right. If the coin was minted in Denver or San Francisco, a small D or S appears just below the date. The reverse shows two stylized wheat stalks on either side of the phrases 1 cent and United States of America, with the Latin motto E pluribus unum positioned above. The 1944 penny is historically notable because it marked the return to copper coinage after the one-year experiment with steel cents in 1943. However, instead of newly mined copper, the U.S. Mint used recycled shell casings from the war effort, giving the 1944 cent a slightly different copper alloy composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. Over 1.4 billion were struck in Philadelphia with no mint mark, over 430 million in Denver with the D mint mark, and over 282 million in San Francisco with the S mint mark, making the total mintage for 1944 extremely high. As a result, this coin is very common and easy to find even today. If your 1944 penny appears black or very dark, it is likely due to environmental exposure, oxidation, or chemical reaction. Copper darkens naturally over time, especially when exposed to moisture, soil, or certain cleaning agents, and this leads to the black or dark brown appearance. In most cases, such toning is considered damage unless it is naturally even and attractive, which is rare. A 1944 wheat penny in black or poor condition is usually only worth 1 to 3 cents, which is its approximate copper melt value. In average, circulated condition with normal brown toning, the coin typically sells for 3 to 5 cents. Uncirculated examples with original red color and no wear can sell for $1 to $5 or more, depending on grade, and certified mint state coins, MS-65 and above, can be worth $10 to $50 or higher. There are a few very rare and valuable varieties of the 1944 wheat penny, such as the 1944 steel cent, which was accidentally struck on leftover 1943 steel blanks. These coins are extremely rare and can be worth $75,000 to over $150,000 depending on condition and mint mark. However, if your black 1944 penny is magnetic, it may be one of these rare errors and should be tested and authenticated by a professional. In most cases, a 1944 penny with a black or dark appearance is simply a worn and environmentally damaged copper coin with minimal value, but it still holds historical significance as a wartime relic from a defining era in American history. Next up, the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny is one of the last coins produced in the long-running wheat cent series, which spanned from 1909 to 1958. This coin features the classic design by Victor David Brenner, with a right-facing bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The inscriptions include "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left of Lincoln, and the date 1957 to the right. If the coin was minted in Denver, it will have a small D mint mark just below the date. If there is no mint mark, the coin was struck in Philadelphia. On the reverse, the coin shows two stylized wheat stalks curving inward to frame the bold inscriptions "1 cent" and "United States of America," with the Latin motto "E pluribus unum" at the top. The 1957 wheat penny was struck in large quantities, as it was near the end of the wheat cent series. Over 282 million were minted in Philadelphia, and over 1 billion were produced in Denver. The coin was struck from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which gives freshly minted examples a rich red color. Over time, however, exposure to air and handling causes the surface to oxidize, turning the coin from red to red-brown, and eventually to a full brown tone. A full brown 1957 Lincoln wheat penny indicates that the coin has been circulated and aged naturally. While brown coins are the most common color designation for older copper cents, they are generally less valuable than red or red-brown examples. A full brown 1957 penny in average circulated condition is typically worth about 2 to 5 cents. If the coin is in very fine or extra fine condition, it may be worth slightly more, around 10 to 25 cents. Uncirculated brown examples, particularly those with good detail and clean surfaces, can sell for $1 to $3. Certified brown specimens graded MS-63 to MS-65 by third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC can bring $5 to $15 depending on eye appeal and demand. The 1957-D version is even more common, and its value follows a similar range. Though the coin is not rare, collectors still seek well-preserved examples to complete wheat cent sets. Error coins from 1957 are uncommon but can command higher prices. These may include off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, or repunched mint marks (RPMs), especially on 1957-D coins. If your coin has an unusual appearance or doubling, it's worth having it examined by an expert. Overall, a 1957 full brown wheat penny holds minimal monetary value in lower grades due to its high mintage and common status, but it remains an important and nostalgic piece of American numismatic history. As one of the final issues before the transition to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959, it marks the closing chapter of a beloved coin design that circulated for nearly 50 years.